viewers are going to remember that we had this car on the program almost 5 years ago, and the fellow that owned it, and his fortunes have changed considerably since then. Once again, Chuck, show the audience the car. This is Risky Business, and this is Mark Wondering. Am I saying it even close to right?
Yes, that's exactly the way you say it.
Okay, and you're from?
Lowell, Indiana.
Let me get the rest of the people here before we get involved with your story, and you are?
Harry Dixon, Hebron, Indiana.
And?
Tom Curtis, Shelby, Indiana.
And?
Christina Wondering, Shelby, Indiana.
Okay, what's your role with the car?
I do the book.
You get dragged, kicking, and screaming. You do the book? What does that mean, do the book?
I have to do the logbook and write down everything that's on the tickets.
So you keep track of all that?
Yeah.
You keep track of all that?
Yeah, she does. She's pretty good at doing that.
I mean, your team, this is a very serious effort.
Yes, we definitely try to put out a good effort for everything here. If you keep track of everything, good records, you end up having a good performing team.
Okay, hold on. Your role with the team?
Pit crew.
Pit crew, and?
#1 fan and buyback man.
What does buyback mean, buyback man?
Well, if we happen to go out first or second round, unfortunately, sometimes you got to go back and chip into the kitty and buy back in.
Okay, we are going to talk today about drag racing. We are at U.S.41 in Morocco, Indiana. This is the first time we've been back here probably in about 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a long time. It's been way too long. This is an absolutely gorgeous first-class facility. It is directly, how can I do this? Directly south on 41, and everybody kind of knows 41 because before there was I-65, 41 was the main thoroughfare through Indiana.
Yes, this was the main thoroughfare through Indiana, the only way you could get from north to south here.
And sort of a replacement, if this is fair, sort of a replacement for US 30?
Yeah, real fair. Has a lot of the same facility, a lot of the same background, good country atmosphere out here like US 30 used to be.
Okay, now I'm going to get to the hard stuff because a few years ago when we had you on, 4 or 5 years ago, you were 22nd in the points. Since that time, guess what? He has been 2-time track champion. And I don't mean just champion in his class, overall track champion. First of all, congratulations from humble beginnings.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Yes, it was a lot of work out here. We had a lot of team effort out here. The first year it seemed to come pretty easy. Winnings came pretty regular. It was due to our good record keeping and everything like that. The engine ran really good, stayed consistent. The car's really deadly, and it was deadly last year also.
Well, I'll say it because he's not. It's also got to be driven pretty well because you got to hit you got to hit those numbers when the light turns.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic numbers come out of it. We've had a lot of good competition racing out here.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but before we get to the car, just as important, Chuck, broaden your shot. Take a swing down at this incredible rig that they have to put. This thing is beautiful, and folks, believe me, it is just as pretty inside as it is outside. Tell us about your rig.
Well, we started out with an open trailer. We used to buy used vehicles and start that way, and we kept building on it and building on it. And then we've moved up to, well, we got a brand new 2000 GMC 3/4 ton pickup, and then we got a new 1999 40-foot enclosed trailer to house the Risky Business race car and all its supplies. This way we're able to take pretty much anything that we need for the race car during a race. If we go to a 2 or 3 day event, we can take and bring in everything with us that we need, and if we have any problems, we can repair the car right then and there.
Resources help, don't they?
Resources are very valuable.
Especially when you're going for a points championship.
Definitely.
You got to be there every week.
Every weekend we're out here.
Okay, Chuck, now show the audience the car, and let's talk about Risky Business. What have we got here?
Risky Business is a 1980 Camaro. It's been in our family for 14 years. The same car, the same chassis. We've started out doing our own engine work and stuff like that, but now since we've graduated and we've taken on some sponsors, Van sent us through periods of years of working with them, have came on board with us. They take care of us with our parts. They sponsor us with a lot of equipment for the car. They take care of everything that I need mechanical on the race car.
And I noticed a number of other sponsors, and we have a rule here on Motorsports Unlimited because you have to remember, out there right now, we've got a number of teenage youngsters that are desperately trying to figure out this motorsport thing, and you know as well as I do, it's one thing to figure out engine compression ratio and valve size and all that and engine RPM, and but it's just as important to figure out how to get a sponsor. You've done it. How did you get them?
Well, I worked out here with a local photographer. He works with the Raystar Publications. He puts together a presentation package for me that I can take to a sponsor and present it to them and show them what I can do for them. I go to a sponsor, especially somebody like Van Sennis, that takes and involves themselves in an advertising campaign, and I look at the monies that they put into it and convey to them what I can do for them. I'll do parades, I do public showings, I go to the libraries and do things with kids, promotional deals, things where the car goes out and it's seen and people recognize and can associate themselves when they do go to Van Sennet's for parts. Or the same as Superior Petroleum Products. You'll see them vehicles going up and down the road, and it's like, well, gee, what do they do? Well, them people, they supply me with the fuel and the oil, and it's just things that they can...
And how did you get them?
Well, I went to the main source. I went right to the boss. I talked to them. I show them the operation that I have, and it's a pretty impressive operation. And it's not hard for them to look at something, because if you look good, they look good.
So part of this is presentation, not just at the track, but also having something professional to go and present when you go and talk to these people.
Right. It's a big, big asset to be able to carry something to a sponsor when you can show them a vehicle and an operation. It makes them look at you that you are really doing this as a business and you're serious about the operation. It's not only just a weekend venture, but it is also a business for me. I do also maintain an 8-hour-day job, but I also take and I work for my sponsors too.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Now, have we forgotten anybody?
Yeah, Harada's Complete Automotive Service. They take care of me. I've kept the same paint scheme on the car for a period of years because I also put out t-shirts and jackets and memorabilia for the race car. Then that way, when people do see this car, they can associate it to the jackets and the shirts that I put on. Unlike other companies, you know, they'll take and change the paint scheme on a car every year and it's like a new car. You don't recognize it. Where I have taken and made the recognition the car and not the driver.
I see. So that was all part of the strategy then?
Right. We kept it the same. Probably in the years to come it'll change, but then hopefully by then I'll have the recognition out there that they'll recognize not only the Risky Business name, which has been on the car for about 14 years, but they'll recognize my name, and then it doesn't matter what the car looks like.
Okay, let's talk about the class that you run in. And by the way, guys, don't get bored because I'm coming back to you, I promise. So you guys ought to be paying attention because we'll have a little test and everything right on camera. In any event, the class you run in, specifically, this is very hard for people that aren't drag racers, and we pride ourselves on getting a non-motorsport audience. This is not a Camaro class. It's not a General Motors class. What class do you run in and how does it work?
This is a top ET class. This car is equipped with some of the electronics that they don't allow in other classes. I have what they call a delay box in the car, which automatically makes it top ET.
What is a delay box?
Delay box delays the time that the car leaves the starting line. Basically what it is a lot of computer and electronics inside the car. If you're familiar with drag racing a little bit, I leave actually off the top bulb on the tree with this car, where a lot of cars in the modified or in the street classes actually leave on the bottom bulb.
So what you're saying is that you have a box in there that actually is reading the light?
No, I read the light and I relay the information to the box.
So the box then, when you go off the first bulb, you've over time learned your reaction, and you know exactly how long it should take before you leave.
Right, it took me approximately 14 years to get myself in sync with that box inside the car.
And you got it down apparently, because let me tell you something, folks. You've got, hold on one second, don't run away. We've got something particularly impressive here, and Chuck will probably have to get this afterwards, so don't try to come in real tight on this right now. We're probably going to have to get this, but this is something that he is particularly proud of. What we have here is a historical capturing of a moment where you raced someone. Was this one of your best races you remember, or worst races?
This was one of the best races out here.
Tell us about it as to why this is significant and how this kind of shows how well your box and you and your box are in sync, your delay box.
Well, this is a caption of where two cars have came together out here, and we're in competition every weekend. We're in the same class, and we both left the line with perfect, identical reaction times, had a 500 reaction time light.
Okay, that's going to confuse the non-motorsport audience, because that 500 reaction time should be a 0 reaction time, because that's what it means. It means that you moved exactly at the moment that the green light went.
Right, and then we continued down the race course. Both cars ran identical. They ran right on the number. The computer at the end of the track on the race tower had to figure out who won the race, and I had won the race within 6 1,000ths of a second.
That's pretty impressive.
That was a very tough race.
And you're pretty proud of it?
Yes, well, I've had pictures made of it, and I've had the reaction time slip photographed. And
your worst race?
The worst race out here? Well, I haven't had no bad races out here.
No. This guy can probably tell you because you do the buyback, right?
No, he's always good. He's always good.
I'm only teasing, folks. What a buyback is, by the way the ET bracket works is in theory, you're eliminated automatically if you make a run, make a mistake, or something like that. But they put a little thing in the rule here that you can buy yourself back in once, or how many times?
You can buy back in one time, either the first or the second round. You can buy back in.
Okay, so on the first or second round, if you make a mistake or something screws up and you think you've really got a shot that day, you go back to the gate and say, buy me back in again. I'm going to keep going because I think I've got the right car for this. Am I right?
Right.
And this is the man that takes care of that.
I take care of that.
Okay, so what is it? Probably several times a week you have to do this?
Hardly ever.
I'm just teasing. So all in all, you're satisfied with the progress of what you've achieved. And again, if the audience hasn't gotten it, Chuck, take a look at the car. We're talking about a bracket car, an ET car, which essentially means that you can kind of literally race anything that operates in your performance level.
I've raced almost anything that comes to the racetrack.
Okay, so, and it really is dependent then on your consistency and your leaves.
Yes, it's definitely consistency. That's what bracket racing's all about, is being consistent.
Consistent and good on the light.
Good on the light. That's definitely a big help. And
remember, folks, the way races are run in drag racing is it's who gets to the finish line first. So even if you have a great ET, if you were a little late off the line, you lose.
Exactly. I've ran perfect numbers before and have a bad reaction time and lose.
And lose a race, even with perfect numbers.
Yes.
So it's two things in bracket race. He's got to be right on the money, and apparently you've got this delay box figured out, so it really works for you. And on top of that, you've got to hit the numbers that the car is capable of doing every single time.
Yeah, you definitely do. And on a day like today, it's going to be a little bit hard with the cool weather. The car's going to run good, so...
Not just the cool weather, it's very windy. This has got to have an effect.
Yeah, it's going to be a tailwind today, so if I happen to leave the line and I pick up a gust of wind, I'm going to have to know whether to let out of it or whether to keep my foot in it at the other end.
Okay, hold on a second. Guys, what do you worry about right now at this point of the day? You haven't started making runs yet at all, so what are your concerns? Or do you need some runs first before you go to work?
Well, he's got to have some runs in first, but my concern is, to tell you the truth, when he's in behind the wheel, just sit and watch.
So it's easy for you?
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. They won't let me touch anything anyway.
How about yourself?
I just make sure there's air in the tires, right amount of air, and fuel it up. Help her with the logbook when she needs it. And,
anybody studying the run?
we watch how the tires hook, how much the front end comes off the ground, see if the wheelie bars touch the ground, mark them. Just some multitude of things that you got to watch.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I am delighted to come back here some 4 or 5 years after our initial encounter with Mark and find that he has gone from being 22nd in the point standing to have one. Matter of fact, let me show you one that I think is cool. He talked about T-shirts before. This is one I'd die to have, a T-shirt like this. This is absolutely great. Check this out. 1998, Chuck, is that readable? Is the wind blowing too hard? Can you see that? 1998 track champion. I would die to have one of these with my name on it. This is pretty impressive, track champion.
It's in the mail.
Yeah, I mean one that I had earned and won. You've got to be very proud of this.
Oh yes, very proud of this. It's a good feeling to be able to put this on the T-shirts and jackets and show it to people and show them that if they're with the car, they're on a winning team.
I'm going to tell you something. Once again, Chuck, broaden your shot. Take a look at the car. As a matter of fact, swing down one more time. Take a look at the whole rig. This is a first-class professional operation. You take this dead seriously, and it absolutely shows. And for all of the kids that call me wondering how do you get started in motorsport and how do you get a sponsor, maybe the first thing is keep yourself clean, make yourself look good, and then worry about going fast.
Yes, definitely. If you'll notice, if somebody wants to thumb back through their archives 5 years ago, this car was running in the 930s. Well, today that car is still running in the 930s, but the speed isn't the main thing out here. It's consistency and reaction time, like we said before. And what I have went ahead and done is I went ahead and promoted the sponsorship aspect of it to appeal to them, you know, to have something good to show to them. So if you got a good car that runs consistent, or if you want to come out and you want to start, or if you have any questions, hey, I'll tell you what, they could come down and talk to me. I'll point them in the right direction.
You know, this is true really of everybody in motorsports. I don't think anybody is out to, everybody wants to help the other guy and help more people come into the sport.
A lot of times, if you come down here looking for me, you're going to find me underneath the hood of somebody else's car trying to help them. There's been times I've been out here in the final rounds working on somebody else's car that I very well go into the next round of competition against that person. I don't want to beat them out here in the pits. I want to beat them out there on the track.
You know, we've heard that so many times, that you want to win the races on the racetrack, not in the pits, and everybody helps everybody.
Yes, it's very family orientated out here. Everybody out here, they can pretty much go to anybody out here. If you need a part, if they got it, it's theirs.
Well, all right, now we are going to come back and talk to you later as you proceed through the day and see how you've made out today. Is there anything that you want to say that we haven't said so far?
Well, we've pretty much covered everything out here. We've had a fantastic showing out here today so far. The sun's up, it's not raining. We're going to have a good race day today.
Okay, you do have a 50-mile-an-hour wind, by the way. I hope the shots were pretty steady, and it is cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out here, but we'll deal with it.
That's okay. It's the beginning of the season. So, folks, here it is. Mark Wondering in Risky Business, first class ET car, and we're going to come back later and find out how he made out today.
Of course, the first order of business for a bracket car is to establish some baseline numbers. Let's check out Mark's first time run. .963 at just over 146 miles per hour. Not bad. In fact, the quickness of the car surprised our cameraman, Chuck Itzenthaler. On the other hand, the car is capable of running quicker, and Mark has to find out what Risky Business can do on this day. Here's his second time run. .957 at over 149 miles per hour. The numbers are improving, but there's more work to be done. Back to the pits to figure things out. Speaking of the pits, Bill spotted something technically interesting he wanted you to see.
Every once in a while, I spot something that I think is technically very interesting, and this certainly qualifies. Chuck and I were just up on the at the track itself getting some action footage, and as we were walking away, we heard an unusual sound, like perhaps from snowmobile racing, and sure enough, this dragster is powered by a snowmobile engine, and it is fast. First of all, you are?
Larry Newman
From?
Battle Creek, Michigan.
And?
Aaron Newman.
Also Battle Creek.
Of course.
Who can best tell me about the car technically?
Probably I could.
Go right ahead.
Well, it's a 1,000 Arctic Cat snowmobile motor.
This would be from the, what's the Arctic Cat's name for it, for their baddest ride? Go ahead. I'm trying to think what they call it. Not Super Cat, but...
Thundercat?
Thundercat. This is the Thundercat motor.
Well, parts of it is.
Okay.
It's been modified, and there's a lot of little trick things that have been done to it. A lot of clutching things and a lot of motor things. The car is very unique. There's not very many around. It's a Mike Boss chassis craft car. He builds them in New York. The car is kind of a step up from a junior dragster car.
A huge step.
A huge step, yes. My son raced junior dragster since he was 12 years old, and we decided to kind of continue the...
I think that's terrific. What kind of numbers, son? What kind of numbers you turn?
With this? Well, today is our fastest pass so far, which is 960s. We usually run 10s.
And what kind of mile per hour?
135, 140.
What do you think of the jump up from the junior dragster?
It's a great step. It's a good experience because you don't go very far because it's still a centrifugal clutch.
You're exactly right, and folks, I want you to understand that this whole thing has an entire snowmobile drive system, including the clutching and all the rest of it, which, to simplify it for you, means that if they've got the clutches right, and we will presume you want 10,000 RPM, maybe it's 11, maybe it's, let's presume you want 10,000. When he jumps on the throttle, the RPM goes to 10,000, and the clutch does the rest of the work if you do it right.
That's correct.
Did he do his job right?
Today he did.
Today he got it right on the money?
Yeah.
What's next, son?
Get some sponsors.
Well, I know that. That's the only important thing, but I mean, if I could wave a magic wand and all the good things happen you'd like to have happen to you in drag racing, where do you end up?
I like to do exhibition racing with well, I like to do top fuel or a pro outlaw.
Okay, so you wouldn't mind having Kenny Bernstein's seat, something like that?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to have that.
And how about you? You like to tune on something like that? Because you look like a guy that's interested in things that are technical.
Well, I think it'd be a little cost prohibitive at this point, but
I want you to dream a little bit.
well, you never know. You never know.
Okay, well, thanks for spending a little time with us. Very interesting. Chuck, show the audience the car one more time. Very interesting piece technically, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to see it runs. And trust me, folks, this one turned your head. It is fast.
Let's check out the Newman snowmobile engine dragster in action. .963 at over 136 miles per hour from a 61 cubic inch motor. Wow! Now let's see what else caught Bill's eye in the pits.
The Nostalgia Boys from Illinois. Even though we're at U.S.41 Dragstrip in Morocco, Indiana, we've got apparently a bunch of guys from Illinois here, and not just a bunch of guys, we're talking about all nostalgia cars. Take a look at all of these great dragsters we've got, and it takes you back maybe 30 years to when we had front-engine dragsters. First of all, you are?
I'm Victor Pop.
What do we got here?
You got a 1970 Logie chassis, 170-inch wheelbase with a 350 nitro motor.
What kind of numbers?
High sevens, top speed about 190.
Very cool. Let me get the rest of the guys. Can we get somebody down here to tell us about this one? Here we go. This, of course, is the famous 392 Chrysler Hemi, and you are?
Yeah, I'm Bob Houlihan.
And where are you from?
Tinley Park, Illinois.
Tell us what we got.
It's originally 1964 built front-engine dragster, and it was it's a 1956 354 cubic inch.
Well, 354 motor. Yeah. Started life as 351, I think. And
331 and 1950, just long block, and 55, 56, or 78. Those are the four usable engines for the early Hemi. The 331 being 55, 56, 1 year only, 354, and then 57, 58, of course, is 392, and that's where it stopped.
392 most desirable of the early ones.
The strongest of all of them turned out to be the 331 and 354, the bottom block that is. And the 354 seems like it's revs the highest, although the 392 it's got 3/8 larger of a stroke. Where this is 3 5/8, the 392 is 3 7/8, and it will actually make a little more torque, but it will not out-rev these things. In fact, this 354 is pretty hard to beat.
What kind of numbers do you get with it?
That's almost 751 or 194 with it.
Very quick. You gonna run it quick today?
A little bit of call-up, it'll be off about 5 miles an hour, but that'll be about it.
Thanks for the time. We got to get the rest of them. If we can get somebody down here to explain this one, come on right down. And this one's got fancy valve covers, also one of the early Hemis, and you are?
I'm Dwayne Ellinger.
From?
Alsip, Illinois.
Tell us about your car.
It's a 69 front-engine dragster built by R&B. It's got a 392 Hemi, board and stroke to 460 cubic inch, running 75% today.
And what kind of numbers?
760s.
Very quick. Thanks for spending time with us. If we can get somebody down here with this one. If we got somebody down here with this car. Anybody here? We can get somebody down here. And you are?
Tom McKeown.
Where are you from?
Midlothian.
Tell us about your car.
1957 392 injected nitro. Best run 740, 185.
What kind of number are you going to run today?
No clue.
No, you haven't run yet?
No, we haven't had it out yet this year. We did a lot of work to it, and no clue.
This is the beginning of the season. Good luck. Thanks for spending time with us. If we can get whoever it is that can tell us about this one down here. And we know this fellow from Kenosha, Wisconsin. We had him on a Let's Go Racing show. Very quially, what do we got here? First of all, tell us who you are.
My name is Bernie Leonard from Antioch, and what I have here is a 70 front-engine dragster. We're running 70% nitro, and first time out this year, and we're hoping to just get our numbers back with our
What kind of numbers are typical?
754 and 178.
Okay, don't run away. I'm coming back to you. If we can get somebody out here to explain this one. I understand this one just made a pass, and you are.
Bob Lemke.
And where are you from?
Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Tell us what we've got.
We got a small block Chevy with a blower, 26% overdrive on the blower, the Enderley bug catcher. It runs on alcohol, and it runs mid-7. We just ran a 770, but we run a 760 before, and we run as fast as 186 miles an hour.
Very, very quick. Good luck. Thanks for spending time with us. And we've got one more of the Nostalgia Boys from Illinois here, and that's this one, Chuck. If show down the car, and you are.
Dave Zintero, driver for Paul Berry.
And where are you from?
We're from Decatur, Illinois.
Tell us what we've got.
We got a 64 front engine rail, new tubing updated in 97, and we're running a 383 injected small block. Hopefully we'll do good today.
What kind of numbers do you typically run?
Low 8s, high 7s, right around in there. 790s, late 20s, right around in there.
Great looking.
What the air is.
Great looking car. I'm glad to see some of you guys keep these front engine cars going. Nicely done. Now let me come down here and find out just a little bit here about the Nostalgia Boys of Illinois. And by the way, this of course is the year 2000. So what you got to do is tell us your website first.
It's www.nostalgiaboy.com.
Oh, I thought it was Nostalgia Boys from Illinois. That's not all in there. It's nostalgiaboy.com.
Right, that's what we were only able to get.
Okay, what are you guys trying to do with your organization?
Well, what we're trying to do is create a quick 8 deal in running a point series through the year. And this way we're here, we can, instead of just match racing, we can kind of create a point fund, money fund, and create a championship.
Well, I want to wish you guys the best of luck. Once again, folks, Chuck, give us a nice wide shot of the cars. These are very cool to watch run, and it does take you back a while.
Let's check out a little Nostalgia Boys from Illinois action. While they were trackside, Bill decided to take a few minutes to chat with the track announcer.
I am delighted to see the amount of participants, I should say the number of participants here at U.S.41 Dragway in Morocco, Indiana. Does my heart good. I must tell you that I keep referring to this as a brand new facility. And of course, it's not really a brand new facility anymore. It's probably been around maybe 10 years now, but I think it's a brand new facility, and I think it's the place that replaced US-30. What say you?
Well, yeah, we've been here since 1993. They started building the track in 92, and I've been working here as the announcer since 1993. And it's one of the best tracks in the area, I believe.
Well, it's certainly new, and you are?
Mark Reed.
And what do you do here, Mark?
Well, like I said, I'm the announcer out here, and also sell billboards.
Okay, give us an idea of what we're doing here today. This is not a new event for this facility. It seems to me 5 or 6 years ago we were down doing one called Match Race Madness.
We've been doing Match Race Madness probably as long as we've been open, and it is our biggest show of the year that we put on as a track. We bring in jet cars, funny cars, fuel cars, pro mods. The Chicago Wise Guys come out here and put on a real good show. And of course, all our local bracket warriors that come out here and support us, they do a real good job with the show.
Well, you know, today we're focusing on Risky Business, and of course, this fella is a two-time overall track champion. And I noticed when I went up to get you in the booth there's quite a bit of pictures of him and his achievements.
Mark is one of our real regulars, and he's a great guy. He would loan you his right rear tire if you needed it to compete. And yes, he's our two-time track champion and two-time top ET champion here at US-41 the last 2 years.
Quite an achievement. The first time we interviewed him was several years ago, and he was 22nd in the point standing. He's come a long way.
He has, and he's like I said, he's a great guy, a real good racer. Anytime he's off his mark, we're all like, what was that, you know?
What are you doing, Mark?
You know.
In any event, today, again, you said you've got the jet cars, and you've got the wheel standers, and you've got the Chicago Wise guys and all that, as well as your normal complement of, and what I'm seeing out here right now, quite frankly, other than the Chicago Wise guys, this is kind of your normal complement here.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of the local guys that we have out here on a regular basis, and we're getting to the point where we're like all family out here. You know, it's kind of a family atmosphere from week to week with the racers.
Well, he's not kidding about that, folks. I was just walking through the pit area, and some of the pit area is paved, and some of it is grassy area, and there are as many barbecues going as there are race cars.
Well, yeah, there's everybody, like you say, they bring their barbecue pits and stuff, and invite you over. You know, they're always trying to get us afterwards. Come on by, get a steak or a dog or whatever. It's great family fun to come out here to the drag.
Well, it really is, and again, we haven't been to U.S.41 in about 4 or 5 years now, and I am just absolutely delighted to see just packed full pits and a terrific audience for that matter, and some great action. Now, we're going to get back to it. As you know, we're focusing today on Mark's activities, and what do you think? Is this going to be his day?
I think it probably will be. He's always tough. He's one of the toughest guys out here, but I don't want to take anything away from anybody else out here. We got a lot of tough competition out here today.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. He said he counted 27 cars in his class. This isn't going to be easy.
No, he has his work cut out for him for sure.
Well, thanks for spending a little time with us, and once again, make sure we get the name right. Mark
Reed.
Mark Reed, the announcer at US41.
Mark Reed mentioned that Mark Wunderink in Risky Business had his work cut out for him. He's right, of course. Let's check in with Mark as he makes his third time run. Time run means practice run. .944 at almost 150 miles per hour. It looks like Mark is getting closer to what he's looking for. The elapsed time was much better, and he didn't lose any speed. Remember, though, in his class, ultimate performance numbers are not as important as consistency. Mark has run 963, a 957, and now a 944. Improving every time, yes, but what number is he going to dial in? While he's off to the pits thinking about it, let's check out a little miscellaneous racing action. Mark decided he needed one more practice run to finalize his decision on what number to dial in. Watch. .946 at just under 150 miles per hour. It looks like Mark is going to have to run eliminations with a dial-in of 944, 945, or 946. Something in that area. There's no practice time left. The races are just getting underway, starting with junior dragsters. That's right. Drag racing is for everyone, from kids to, well, check this out. The driver was fine, but it's always a little scare when a nitro motor lets go. While we settle down, let's get back to some of the saner vehicles. Do you remember Bill Maverick Golden and his little red wagon? Okay, maybe that wasn't saner than the Nitro Funny Car. We better get back to our friend Mark Wunderink and Risky Business, because they're up for the first round of eliminations. Noticed he dialed in a 944 on his windshield. It's Mark with the win, right, turning in a 948 at just over 145 miles per hour, garnering the first round win. We will catch up with Mark a little later, but first let's see some Chicago Wise Guy action. I hope you remember the last race because it's going to prove to be controversial. Right now, they're lighting up the torches, and Bill never misses this. It's time to return to the pits. Bill wanted to talk to Mark again, and en route found an old friend, Pete Demos.
We have with us the leader of the Chicago Wise Guys. You met him on Motorsports Unlimited before, and before I block his car, he'll kill me. This is not that one. This one is his right behind us. This, of course, is, well, tell the folks who you are.
I'm Pete Demos, president of Chicago Wise Guys Match Race Circuit.
Okay, as a matter of fact, we've been enjoying all kinds of cars. This is Match Race Madness, as is traditional at U.S.41 every year. Kind of begins the season.
First time out for all of us.
For all you guys, and I'm going to tell you something. You guys put on a show, but one car I got to ask you about. Chuck, you can only barely see it. Right there, the red car that's back in there. Last year, the fastest, quickest car in the Chicago Wise Guys was that 55 Chevy, that nitrous Chevy.
Squeeze breeze.
Right, and we talked a lot about the idea of nitrous oxide versus supercharging. Lo and behold, a supercharged car goes up against him today, and I couldn't believe it. The 55 was it Squeeze Breeze?
Squeeze Breeze and Michael Riccia's car.
Okay, Squeeze Breeze turned in a great run. And that car lifted twice and coasted through the traps and won. That is a stout car.
Oh, my gosh. Bill, can I say something really? Our guys this year, we have a 74 Camaro, a home-built Camaro in the garage. Just ran a 754 today.
Awesome. And I'm going to tell you something. This one, it almost, Chuck, take a look at this GTO over here. This one, it almost appears you could drive it on the street. Maybe did the most outrageous burnout I've ever seen.
Mike High and Marty Wagner, 760, and they'll do a lot better this year.
Awesome, awesome cars. Anyhow, I just stopped to say hello. We are going to do a program with you guys again at Great Lakes Dragway. When is it going to be?
August 5th, Great Lakes Dragway is called Night of Thrills. Everybody come out, you'll see a heck of a show.
That's right, and we are going to be there to do an up close and personal with all the Chicago Wise guys, right?
Yes, sir. Bring the kids, and we have flyers. We'll give them autographs. They can sit in our cars, have pictures taken, everything.
Oh, that's a great idea. Well, thanks for a little time with us, folks. Pete Demos, Chicago Wise guy. He is a wise guy.
Mike Doidley.
Bill no sooner finished the interview when controversy erupted.
We've got controversy, folks. And this car is no longer apparently the Squeeze Breeze, even though it says Squeeze Breeze up there, and Pete and I were just referring to it as Squeeze Breeze. This is the 55 Chevy that I told you about. Last year we identified as the fastest, quickest car in the Chicago Wise guys, and it's a nitrous car, not a supercharged car, which we found technically interesting. Been talking about it for a year now. Come out here. I watch him race that other, what kind of car was that other one?
That was a Camaro?
Lumina. We got a guy, Lumina, and the Lumina put him away. Well, guess what? You say not true.
Not true.
Okay, tell us the numbers.
Here's a slip, a 763 to a 764.
And you got the wind slip.
I got the wind slip, and I was off of it 2 times, so we got the bragging rights this time.
Okay, so I just want you to know this stuff is important to these guys, and you are?
Joe.
Joe.
Rena.
Where are you from?
Elmhurst.
And?
I'm Vince Portera from Palatine, Illinois.
Okay, I think by the time, I forget when the date is, and Pete just said it, we're going to be covering you guys again, but I think by the time we get out there, we'll have to look at this war.
Well, I hope you guys do, because we're looking for sponsors, and we're determined to go a lot faster than this.
Well, I'll tell you something, folks. This is all very, very serious to these guys. When they heard me say the other guy won, they said, no, he didn't win. And I could have swore I saw the wind light in the other lane. But either way, both cars, absolutely incredible performers.
That date we're going to cover the Chicago Wise guys at the Grove is August 5th. Now we've got to move on to find Mark Wunderink, and on the way we found the Jet Car guys.
This is one of the, I guess we have to say, one of the newest of the Jet Cars, and you are?
Billy Barkus.
And where are you from, Billy?
Chicago.
Tell us about your car.
Well, it's used to be the Odyssey.
And this is Wayne New's old car.
Absolutely. It used to be the Odyssey. I originally drove it for Wayne as the Odyssey, and then I purchased it.
This first year with it for yourself?
No, actually, this is my 4th season as the owner myself, and then I was 2 years driving for Wayne.
Okay, now Wayne's out of it completely?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we should identify that Wayne Newth. How do you explain Wayne Newth? One of the longtime jet car devotees.
One of the masters. He is the professor of jet racing.
No question about it. Now, tell us about your numbers today. We just saw all the cars seem to make. Now, one car didn't make a great run, but they all seem to make really good runs.
Right. Well, you know, I've had soft tune-up in the car. It's still the early in the season, but 294, I'm pretty happy with that.
You ran 294?
Absolutely, 294.
I guess you're pretty happy with that. What kind of an ET?
I think it was a 544.
Well, I'll tell you something. One thing about the jet cars, they are always crowd pleasers. We were out there all day, and I'm going to tell you something. The crowd went nuts when the jet cars, as soon as you light them up.
You can't deny that because they never leave until they get to see them.
Never leave until they get to see the jet cars. Anyhow, Billy, congratulations. We've got to move on, but Chuck, show the audience this great car one more time, an absolute showpiece like all of the jet cars.
Guess what? The controversy with the Chicago Wise guys continues.
Well, the controversy rages on. Guess what? We just talked to Squeeze Breeze, and we were trying to correct the thing that I said it wrong, and I thought for sure I saw the wind light go on in the other car's lane. First of all, introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Michael Richa. I run that 93 Lumina. That won the race against the Squeeze Breeze car.
He comes running after me and says, no, he's wrong. I won that race, and I got the tape, the slip to prove it.
I got the slip to prove it. See, I got to race guys to keep their eyes open. I got to find those guys.
Yeah,
guys
close
all like this. Those are the guys that should stay away from.
Guys, folks, this is going to be fun when we do an up close and personal with these guys in a couple of months. You're going to enjoy this. You ought to try to make it out and watch us work.
Now let's get back to the jet cars.
Well, folks, you just saw it. They ran 304 miles an hour. Who was driving?
I was.
Tell us about it.
Oh, it was really just like a Sunday drive. We run down there, run to the first light and pull the chute, and we lost part of the chute. We got a new chute set up right there.
Okay, first of all, you are?
Bill Lutz.
From?
Chicago, Illinois.
And?
Jim Lutz, Chicago, Illinois.
And you're the dad, right?
I'm the dad.
And the dad was so excited, we couldn't show you the whole run because he jumped right into our camera shot. You were excited on that run.
Yeah, I saw the chute fooling around not being right, so I
wanted to help.
That's right.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. It was a great run, guys. What's the best run for this car ever?
That was the best run for this car.
Well, you got to be excited then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't see any excitement. Come on. Your dad, he was excited. I'm going to tell you, right?
Yes, I was.
Well, 304 miles an hour, that's pretty stout. Chuck, broaden the shot, take a look. I've talked about the jet cars so many times on Motorsports Unlimited. Everybody knows my feeling about it. You want to see real excitement. This is the guy that builds the car, and you are?
Dave McGee, how you doing?
From?
Crete, Illinois.
304.
Yeah.
You got to be excited.
And lost a chute at the end. That's why we're all happy.
Well, I hope you got. I want to see some excitement. You run 304, and I want to see you guys.
Worried though, you know.
A little worried at the end. They were worried for you.
Oh, yeah, I was worried myself.
Yeah, I better stop your heart down there a little bit.
Yeah, got it going, yeah.
Folks, again, Chuck showed the audience the car. Damn Yankee jet car out of the Chicago area. This is one that we can all be proud of.
Next, we've got the fastest, quickest jet car in the world.
This looks for all the world like Bill Matteo's jet dragster, and if you've been watching Motorsports Unlimited for any length of time, you know that Bill Matteo has been the fastest jet dragster driver and car builder in the country for at least 2 decades. Guess what? He didn't drive it today, and it's not his anymore, and you are.
Yes, it is. We just purchased the car yesterday from Bill, and we're out here having some fun.
Okay, so it is no longer his then. I was right.
That's correct.
Okay, and you are?
Chuck Haynes out of Billings, Montana.
Apparently it doesn't make any difference if Bill is driving it or somebody else is driving it, because you guys, once again, are the fastest jet car here.
You know, that's why this is the second Bill Matteo car I've built or bought from him, and I got to tell you, he's the best.
There's absolutely no question about it. I can tell you this, we are very proud of him in the Chicago area.
Well, I'm very proud that I've been able to get 2 cars from him, because he makes it easy, I got to tell you.
What were your numbers today?
We ran a 515, 318.
318 miles an hour. I remember years ago when there was a 300-mile-an-hour limit, Bill Matteo was scared to death that somebody was going to tell what he was turning.
Yeah, I've heard those stories, you know. And the last time I bought the car from the first car was 7 years ago, and I've had such good luck with that. And so when it came time to step up to a little faster car, there was no choice but to go with Bill.
You know what Bill's fastest speed ever was?
I absolutely do, and I understand it was here a year ago, 330.9 or 7, something.
330 miles. You've got quite a ride there.
Oh boy, I got to tell you, it's great. And he, like I said, with a Bill Matteo car, it's so easy to do. It's just like driving a Cadillac.
Well, it's a little sad news here, and I don't want to dwell on this, folks, because I don't like bringing sad news on the program. But Bill Matteo, of course, has been an icon in the Chicago area for 20, 30 years, the fastest jet car guy in the world and all the rest of it, and I understand now he's out of the jet cars.
Well, that's what I understand, too, and I'm hoping that he'll miss about a year of it and say, geez, you know, I need to come back and do this again.
Now, that's what I told him.
Let's not forget Chicago Rush.
Well, this is Chicago Rush, a brand new car. It's absolutely gorgeous, but they had some problems today. Fuel pump sheared a little pin on it. I guess they're supposed to do that when the engines are in jet aircraft if for some reason too much fuel pressure builds up so that they don't have an explosion in the engine. Anyhow, they sheared the pin off, and right now the owner is off chasing a new pump so that they'll be ready for the next round.
Remember earlier, we talked about the near-perfect race between Risky Business and Vic Ray? Let's meet the other half.
Well, with all the controversy today here about who won which race and all that, maybe I can stir up a little something here. First of all, you are
Jamie Vickery.
You don't know this, but earlier in the day we were talking about you. I did an interview with Mark Wagners, and he showed me pictures where he and another car left dead even, both of them right on the money, a 5-0 light for everybody, right?
Yep, that was us.
And he says, saw you all the way down the racetrack. You guys were side by side, right?
Yes, we was.
And he got the win by 2 1/1000ths of a second or something like that?
200. We both broke out, but I broke out by more.
So you don't want to quarrel with this. You're going to go, that story's okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just trying to stir up some trouble here. That's all. Tell us about your car.
Well, it's a 1991 Dodge Daytona. It's got a 541 cubic inch B1 Chrysler. This is the first weekend with it.
What kind of numbers?
The best pass so far is 855 at 167 miles an hour.
And what do you expect it to do?
840s probably once it's broke in.
Okay, are you still running the bracket racing?
Quick 16.
Oh, you're running the Quick 16 now. Can you explain that very quickly, what that is, what that means?
The fastest 16 door cars to they qualify, and they pair you up, and it's pro tree staggered, so you have to give head starts. And
you seem like how old are you? You seem like a very young guy.
18.
Oh, you're just 18. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I grew up, my dad raced. I've done it my whole life, and I've been racing for 2 years, driving.
Ultimately, where do you end up? What do you want to do?
Driving pro stocks.
Pro stocks, so you'd like what, Glidden seat if you could get it?
Yeah, Daryl Alderman.
You want Alderman seat?
That's my idol, yeah.
Okay, well, I thought I could stir up a little something with him and Mark, but apparently you guys are too good of friends.
Yeah, we're pretty good buddies.
Okay.
I'll get him, though.
Pardon me?
I'll get him, though.
Yeah, he says you got a bigger engine now.
Yeah.
I know why you got a bigger engine.
Speaking of Mark Wonderrink, let's finish the day by seeing how he's doing.
Nitco. I guess this is the year 2000. Hard to believe. We have sponsors of race cars with internet access companies. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
I challenge you to say Nitco 3 times fast.
Nitco.
You sure you're saying it right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, we've had a great day here today, and interestingly enough, you're still in it.
Yes, it's been a real good day today. We came out here with a car that we relatively didn't know any idea how it was going to run. We took it, we got it to a consistent point, and we've been running on it ever since, and we're still in. We haven't had to buy back yet either.
I've been watching him all day, and he's changed the number. He started with a 944, then he had a 945. Now I see a 948, but you're taking a chance.
Yeah, I'm bumping it up closer and closer, so every run that we make,
Somebody's going to push you.
They're going to push me out the back unless I just run it on the edge, and that's the only way you win out here. You keep things on the edge and keep them dialed close.
You might want to think about a 945 again.
No, I better think about not pedaling again.
Okay, now hold on. We want to make sure we get everybody's into this again. And once again, you are?
Tom Curtis.
Okay, and we've got a new person. You are?
Becky.
Becky what?
Wonderrink.
Oh, you're related?
His daughter.
So you've got 2 daughters. Well, how come we only had one out here before?
She didn't get here till late.
Oh, I was going to say, we need all the pretty girls we can get, and we met you before, but once again, tell the audience who you are.
Christina Wonderrink.
And most important, we've got his wife out here, and I had to drag her out here kicking and screaming, and you are?
Deborah.
You enjoying it today?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, she's enjoying it. All right. She was in the hauler in the back while he was making the run. You weren't even watching.
I was warming up.
Okay. Well, it is cold today. Well, I'm going to tell you something, too. There's more than one way to enjoy racing, Mark. Am I right? Everywhere that I've looked here, Chuck, if you would, I know this is going to be hard to do because we got cars going by and everything. Swing your camera shot over there. There's a motor home, and right in front of the motor home, there's a barbecue grill there. And I will bet there's 1,000 barbecue grills here today.
Yeah, that way you can cook your own delight out here.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a regular family affair.
Yeah, that way it's a good way to bring people in here. If you bring sponsors out here and stuff, it's a good way. They can come in and feed and eat and just come out, camaraderie out here. That's all there is.
Is this a points race today?
No, not a points race.
So you're just shaking the car down. This match race madness is typically the start of the season, so you're just trying to shake the car down so that when the points things start, what, next week?
Yeah, next Sunday we'll be out here doing points, and that's what we're doing. We're shaking it down.
Okay, now's the time. Anything else you want to say before we go? Because we're done, and it has been great. We didn't get the last run because we were talking to the jet car guys and all that, and I said, you know what? I don't want to put the pressure on you, Mark. You've got to keep going every round. It looks like you're almost maybe you're going to do it.
It's no problem. We're used to being under pressure out here every day, every round that we go. It's a winning round, so it's a good thing, and you just build on it all the time. And thanks to all the good help and the good people out here, a lot of good sponsors out here. Like to thank, you know, like I said, B&E, Nitco, Van Sinis, Heradas, everybody.
Okay, one thing real quick that we didn't mention, there is also, I've noticed, I've been learning as I've been around here today, there's almost like a rivalry out here between the Van Sinis guys and the White Pit Stop guys.
Yeah, them White Pit Stop guys, they ain't got a chance.
See what I mean? This is unbelievable. We're going to stir up more stuff before we're done. Now, we've got to go. We've had a great time here today. What do you guys think? Is he going to go all the way today and win it?
It's going to happen today.
Yes?
Most definitely. Maybe.
Ah, listen to this. We got to skip. How about the wife? What is she?
He's going to do it.
He's going to do it. Well, folks, everybody says the same thing. We've talked to a number of guys about Mark here today. Everybody says Mark Wonderrink is an absolutely first-class gentleman, as well as being a great racer, 2-time overall track champion, not exactly small potatoes. Mark, we've had a great day, and I want to thank you.
Thanks again for coming out, Bill. I'm glad you enjoyed your day out here today, and we had a wonderful time also.
Really did. Chuck, once again, showed the audience the cars. Ladies and gentlemen, Risky Business.